Welcome to This Explainer. Let's just dive right in and completely reframe a subject you probably thought you already knew inside and out: physical education. We're looking at the foundational texts here, and we're going to explore exactly why this field has transformed so dramatically over the last 50 years. If you think this topic is just about, doing jumping jacks in a gymnasium, well, you are in for a seriously fascinating surprise. So I want to start by asking you a question, and be honest here. Did you think PE was just a rest period? Or maybe just a chance to aimlessly throw a dodgeball around when the teacher needed a break? For decades, the true purpose of this discipline has been hidden behind some surprisingly persistent misunderstandings. Over the years, we've built up all these wild misconceptions. People assume it's just about physical training and building bodies, or maybe merely performing rote drills. Some even claim it's a total waste of money with literally no mental learning involved, or that it has absolutely zero career prospects. Well, today we're going to systematically tear every single one of these myths down using the actual science and philosophy behind the field. Because when you look at the official definitions, they fundamentally contradict those myths. Take this absolutely powerful quote from the Central Advisory Board of Physical Education and Recreation. They define it as the development of the total personality to its fullness and perfection, in body, mind, and spirit. See, it proves that PE isn't just physical. It's a completely holistic approach. It's an educational process that literally uses physical activity as the medium to build who you are. And you know what's crazy? This holistic concept isn't even a modern invention. Take a look at this ancient Sanskrit adage. Sharir madhyam kalu dharma sadnam. It basically translates to the idea that our physique is actually the prime source for performing all of our duties in life. Long before modern science caught up, ancient philosophers understood that if your physical vessel isn't optimized, your ability to execute your life's purpose is totally compromised. When you think about fundamental human movements, it becomes super clear that education without physical activity is, well, it's truly like a body without a soul. Life itself begins with movement, right? From the literal moment a child is born, movement characterizes life. So all teachings in human education actually begin with physical education. By mastering foundational shapes and balances, we are laying the absolute groundwork for all future learning. And this builds perfectly into what we can call the 5 developmental pillars of physical education. This is exactly where we completely dismantle that whole idea that PE is just play. A physically fit individual possesses a well-balanced personality, and that balance is constructed upon 5 very specific, deeply intellectual and psychological pillars. Let's walk through them one by one. Okay, pillar 1 is motor development. This is all about the fascinating science of training your nerves to communicate perfectly with your muscles. It's that crucial neuromuscular relationship. By exercising the muscles and nerves, you're enhancing your body's ability to act, react, and interact. When you have highly developed motor movements, you can tackle your daily routine effectively with supreme confidence and without just feeling fatigued or lazy. Moving on to pillar 2, mental development. And yes, physical activities directly contribute to this. The precise movements required in physical education actually sharpen your mind. Think about it. When you're right in the middle of a complex physical activity, you are forced to maintain deep concentration, mental alertness, and make really wise decisions under intense pressure. It literally teaches you to think correctly and solve problems effectively in real-time situations. Pillar 3 is emotional development. Emotion is basically a drive to do something, right? It's often a highly intense feeling. Well, sports and physical activities serve as this amazing, safe laboratory to experience those intense psychological drives like fear, anger, joy, and sorrow. By repeatedly navigating these incredible highs and lows on the field or the court, you develop immense confidence, you shed negative feelings, and you build a highly emotionally stable personality. Then we have pillar 4, which is social development. Activities where a team has to pull together, like a tug of war, provide these unique opportunities to fulfill basic human needs for recognition, self-respect, and belongingness. Through activities exactly like this, individuals acquire essential social qualities. We're talking empathy, courtesy, team spirit, and democratic living. It fundamentally teaches you how to adjust and truly thrive in group settings. Finally, pillar 5 is moral development. Every single game has a strict set of rules and regulations, and knowing that breaking a game's rule is essentially a moral crime that could get you kicked off the team, that inherently trains a person in honest, ethical behavior. It strictly equips individuals to differentiate between right and wrong, and it embeds this deep sense of duty and honesty that carries far, far beyond the playground. Now, you might be wondering, why does this rigorous five-pillar development matter so urgently right now? Well, modern research proves that these physical pillars are actually our absolute best defense against today's biggest threats. I mean, we live in an era of incredible technological advancement, but let's be real, that comes with a pretty heavy psychological cost. Regular exercise is literally the antidote. It helps the body and mind deal with the silent killers that plague so many of us today. Things like stress, strain, worry, anxiety, and tension. It's been scientifically observed that adequate exercise of our limbs is absolutely essential for disciplining the mind in the right spirit. So physical education isn't just about building muscles. It is the required medicine for the mental strain of modern society. Okay, before we dive into the incredible careers available in this field, let's clear up some essential terminology that people mix up all the time. Notice how a game is a rule-bound competition played by teams with a clearly defined winner or loser. Sports training, on the other hand, is a much deeper, rigorously planned, and scientifically based process specifically designed to prepare an athlete for peak performance. They are definitely not the same thing. We also really need to distinguish between gymnastics and physical culture. Gymnastics focuses heavily on agility, balance, and complex movements. Contrast that with physical culture. That is the social and cultural concept of treating the body as a temple. It specifically utilizes high-intensity exercises and weight training to develop shaped muscles, basically to make the body look muscular and aesthetically pleasing. Furthermore, when people mistakenly say PE is just drill, they are missing the entire point of what a drill actually is. Drill isn't about playing a game. It's specifically about disciplining the body and mind for perfect posture in standing, walking, or even fighting. It utilizes the rhythmic repetition of activities, usually done with beats, music, or verbal orders, to instill deep, ingrained physical discipline. Okay, remember that myth from the beginning of our explainer about physical education having a poor social status and absolutely no job prospects? Yeah, let's completely shatter that right now. The reality of the modern sports and wellness industry is seriously going to surprise you. Because peak physical performance requires a massive, incredibly complex industry behind it. And this opens up highly lucrative careers far beyond just, teaching gym class. A lot of young people are drawn to this profession for the adventure and, surprisingly, according to the source material, for a tension-free life. We're talking about entire sectors dedicated to health, administration, and communication. For instance, let's look a little closer at health and medicine. The soaring societal demand for wellness means these roles are absolutely critical right now. Dietitians are highly sought after, planning nutrition for elite teams, hospitals, and modern spas. And sports medicine physicians? They are highly respected specialists dealing with the unique and serious nature of sports-related injuries, helping athletes get back into the mainstream. It's a huge deal. And hey, if you love media and data, the communication sector is just absolutely exploding with opportunities. It's not just about playing the game, it's about telling the story of the game. This includes sports publishers responsible for quality content, broadcasters, sports information directors, and even sports statisticians who analyze the immense amount of data generated by the games we love. So we've seen how physical education isn't just a free period. It is the rigorous development of your motor, mental, emotional, social, and moral foundation. It's an entire ecosystem of health and science. Knowing that education without physical activity is truly like a body without a soul, I'm going to leave you with this final thought as we wrap up this explainer. How are you actively feeding your own potential today?